What is up, YouTube? Monster Chappie. We're here for the first time this year of Madden. Yes, sir. We are back. I will go over why I haven't posted, all that good stuff in the next video. But in this video, I just want to keep it as short as possible because I've recorded this like 3 times. It keeps getting longer and longer. So I'm going to try to keep it short. Right now, we are trying to qualify for the Minnesota Vikings Club Series on PS4. Deadline is Monday, 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So October 16th. That is it. Right now, record not looking too good. Like I said, we're about 3-star elite, halfway bar. It's pretty good, but been taking some bad L's. But yeah, 2 of my losses. I had after the roster update, I lost twice because I had a 700 cap team taking on these 750s, and I didn't have a lot of the players that I have now. But one thing I do know is I'm pretty happy with the lineup as I have it now. Team no money spent. You know, you're not gonna see no points up there. It's just principle for me. I just refuse to spend money on microtransactions. I like to just try to earn stuff. Now, in the past I would say that, and I'd have to put asterisks by it. I'm gonna be honest. I would play wagers, which pretty much are frowned upon now because if you play enough wagers and you're winning, what they're gonna do is they're gonna block it so you can't see some of the top cards if your account is suspicious. So if you're winning wagers, great, but eventually they're going to make it more difficult for you to get your cards. I mean, you could still do it, but it's a lot more difficult, a.k.a. they're frowning upon it. And really, they're not going after you. They're really going after those guys selling coins and stuff, but that's neither here nor there. That's not what we're focused on. But team no money spent, you can get a team like this. Now, as far as donations go, I need to let you guys know. In the past, I would get donations. I would limit it to 1 per person. But this year, I've only had 1 donation so far. I got 300K, and then I used another 100K of mine to get to lead. That was from my cousin. He hooked me up. So shout outs to L Boogie, L Parker. He's also the guy I got the "he gone" phrase from. So shout outs to L, man. Shout outs to L, man. He's been a huge contributor to this channel for a long time behind the scenes. You guys didn't even know it, but just wanted to shout him out, man, one time. So let's go ahead and look at the team. Quick look, Andrew Whitworth, 89 pass block. Veldir, 90 strength. Tank. Mango, I was tanking this spot for a while, but I put in Mango there. Not a huge upgrade. I mean, he's 6 cap more than the 10 minimum. But I do notice a difference. Now, I'm not saying he's going to block Mean Joe, Aaron Donald, or any of those guys. But he does okay. He does okay. So he's a nice little upgrade. So let's talk about his tight ends. Tank. I used to actually use 2 tight ends, and we'll talk about that right now. Dive into it. Right now I'm using Winslow. After the update, catching I feel matters a little bit more. Was using Ingram for the while, and was rocking Kobe Fleener. I was actually starting Ingram, using Fleener as a backup, and I ended up looking for a tight end, and I found Kellen Winslow, who I was like, he's pretty quick. And he's got some pretty solid stats. So 83 route running, 83 catching, just pretty solid. He's pretty balanced, and he's pretty good. 31 cap, not too bad either. So anyways, these are 2 other guys I would say you could use. I would use Ingram before I use Fleener just because he's 5 less cap and he's a little bit faster. But Fleener's a little bit better overall player, but only 1 less catching. Definitely recommend Ingram. He's another really good guy. Like if I get the opportunity to upgrade another position, the tight end is the one where I would definitely start with looking at saving some cap there. So let's go straight fullback, Tank. Quarterback, I was using 85 Warren Moon. Yes, I do not recommend 85 Warren Moon. He's okay. He's a good starting point. I was using Dak Prescott early in the year. You really need throw power now. For one reason, to be able to throw over the defense on those cover 4 beaters. But the other reason, which is, in my opinion, even more important, all these 91 guys out there with the zone, 91 zone is what I'm referring to, call them 91 guys, they react as soon as you hit the button. So if you've got a noodle arm out there and they've got really fast response time, that's going to equal interceptions on plays where you probably would have had a chance at getting the ball there if you had more throw power. So right now, rocking around Cunningham, he has pretty much identical passing stats to the 85 Moon, but the big difference is the 84 speed. Warren Moon, that version I had, is 68 speed, and Warren Moon played solid for me until the patch. He was a little bit inaccurate, and I was just like, well, if I'm going to be inaccurate, let me get a better speedster then. The other thing is I couldn't afford any of the good quarterbacks. The Carrs, the Rodgers, the Lucks. Those guys that are really good. Couldn't afford them. Vic, etc. Couldn't afford any of those guys. So I just went ahead and upgraded. Twitch Prime. Shout outs to Twitch Prime, man. I got 3 guys starting in my salary cap roster from Twitch Prime. And they're all really good. I mean, Cunningham, he's not the most accurate, but he's decent. And he's really, really mobile. 84 speed. I mean, it was like a huge, huge improvement from an offense getting him there. So let's talk about running back Tevin Coleman. This dude's solid, man. He's got 88 speed. And he's got a good chemistry. And the only negative to him is he's not going to run anybody over. So in the goal line, he sucks. So just giving you a heads up. Like, he just does not fall forward. He's not one of those guys. You don't need one of those guys this year, especially because the jukes, the spins and stuff are so effective. But I just need to let you know that about Tevin Coleman. 88 speed, though, really good. Otherwise, you could take your running back spot and just go for somebody who's fast with a little bit of juke and spinning, because you really don't need those ratings because it just works anyways. Anyways, let's talk about wide receivers. Tyreek Hill, got him in the slot. Also have him on special team return man. And I definitely like him. I would just keep him there. The other two, Cooper and Chris Carter, I would upgrade. If I had the coins to get some of those better guys like Julio, Odell, etc. Just can't afford them. So we're rocking with Amari Cooper and Chris Carter. Both of them got 86 speed and pretty much mid-80s for everything else. Looking at special teams here, like I said, Tyreek Hill, Coleman, nothing too crazy to see here. I do recommend having a punter at the punter position. I know you're rarely ever going to punt, but there are times you should punt. Even if you're a competitive player, there are times. I mean, if it's 4th and 30 or something crazy like that, and that does happen, you know. Well, it's happened to me because my offense isn't the best. But there's times I haven't been 4th and 30, but 4th and 20, situations like that, depending on field position and the time left, you punt the ball. If you got a kicker there, their punting is absolutely awful. It's real, like you don't want to swap punters and kickers out of position this year. Pretty much the only thing I'm saying there. Kicker, got Gano, 79 kick power, 14 cap. He makes most of the kicks for me. I usually don't end up in long field goal situations. I have hit the bar on 2 kicks, and both of those kicks were over 50 yards. But for the most part, most kicks, he's going to be fine. Anything from 50 or closer, he's good, unless there's like crazy wind or something. But I definitely like saving the cap there. I know you could get a little bit better kicker. Janikowski would be one I'd probably look at, and I may look at here, upgrading to Janikowski in the near future just to get that little bit of extra kick power. I think he's got like 82 or 83, and that might be just enough for me. I don't think you need to go too much higher than that for your kicker, though, as far as spending cap. Save it. Let's look at the offense and defense, Dolphins and Patriots. Jerseys, just get something with the chemistry that is going to best fit you. For most of you guys, read and react is going to be one of them. And then offensively, whatever floats your boat. I mean, I definitely like the that chemistry there. This one's good too, though. This deal that the Armadillos have, I forget what it's called, but that's a good one too. A really good offensive chemistry. I think that's the best one in the game, personally. I just forget the name of it. And then upgrade your stadium and coaches as much as you can. To get this to the maximum tier is really expensive. You got to put like elite players. You got to get elite tokens. So it's expensive. So I can't afford to get up to tier 3. I'm probably going to go to tier 2 here. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is I did this for the Patriots, trying to get the zone awareness up, zone and awareness and play rec and stuff up. But what ended up happening is it does not upgrade that right away. So as you can see, Patriots tier 2, it only gives you stiff arm, spin, ball carrier, and juke. So with that being said, that's only going to really benefit your running back and maybe wide receivers. So that I will upgrade to tier 2, and when I do, I will put it on my running back because, yeah. Now, let's talk about the defense real quick here. So, as you can see, I got Twitch Prime Reggie White and Twitch Prime Rodney Harrison. Tank. So those are some good tank players for you. Just get those 10 cappers in there. Now, Mean Joe Green, he's got my chemistry, and he's really solid. Ansa got my chemistry, very solid. Reggie White, he's just a beast, and he's really good and he's a Twitch Prime guy, so I got him for free. Also, I'm team no money spent. No green points at the top. Won't see him. We've already talked about that. But just to mention, I got all these players on my own, except for Talib, who I got a 300K donation from my cousin L, and I put 100K of my own. We've already talked about that, though. But that's the player I got with those coins. I just wanted to show you. So, Rod Woodson in the slot, 88 speed, 90 excel, something like that. And he's got like 77 hit power. So he's a really, really good guy. The 81 version to have in the slot if you're running Tampa 2 from the 335, if you're running any blitz from the slot position. Honestly, looking at all the corners in the game, he might be #1 in my opinion for that specific duty, unless you want to put a lot more cap there. But to me, he's really, really ideal for that spot. Outside, Talib, Newman, 91 zones. And those guys are really good, man. Both of these cards, phenomenal. They play really well for me. And I really got no complaints about them. Safeties, I got Rodney Harrison. Now, this is where the zone, chemistry, read and react comes into play. I'm at tier 3. Why is that really important? Because you want to have 91 zone for your secondary, in my opinion. Rodney starts at 89. Tier 3, I get him up to 91. Now he plays phenomenal. So that is just a really, really, really good player right there once you get those chemistries on him. And then cross over here, this is the 89. And I like him a lot. He's got the zone and he's got the chemistry. A lot of good things going for the legend, Paul. Talk about linebackers. Dewey McDonald, a great budget guy. Kruger Hill, a great budget guy. Shazier, and Gerard Davis. Now, first let's talk about McDonald and Hill. I was using McDonald for the longest time, but I think I'm going to actually start using Hill and subbing him in because he's a little bit better to me. He's got 2 inches of height. He loses 1 speed, but I'll show you just some of these other stats real quick. He's got better agility by 5, and he's over 80. And then his excel is 85. And he's taller by 2 inches. Tackles by better by 10. And he's jumping higher by 4. So you add 2 inches of height, 4 rating of jump, and the fact that he's over 80. So you know that's a threshold for jumping. And you got the pretty good user there, in my opinion. So I'm going to start using him, and I'll see how it goes. I haven't started using him yet. I don't know. McDonald is a really good user too. But I'm going to start using Hill and see how that goes. I'll let you guys know in a future video how that works out. Gerard Davis, you got to do the chemistry solos to get this guy. Fortunately, he is the lowest one. So this is the NAT version. Non-actionable, non-tradable. Can't do anything with them outside of use them. But the great thing about this guy is he gives you ×2 for whatever chemistry you need. That means you only have to have 1 player there and you get 2 chemistries, which is great, obviously, right? But what that doesn't tell you is that in salary cap, he's actually a good player too. And the other thing is you don't have to have a second spot. So, for instance, before I had a D tackle that was gold that had the chemistry, and then I had, somebody else here who had the chemistry. Both guys were like 16, 17 cap, and neither one were really usable. Whereas Gerard Davis here is usable. He's got the chemistry, and he's got it ×2. But let's look at some of his stats, man. Not a lot of people are talking about him. I'm going to quick go over him, and then that'll be the rest for this video. Like I said, 83 speed, 6'1", 81 strength, which is really high, 81 agile, 87 excel, which is really high again. But those are pretty much the highlights. I mean, 80 tackling, 88 jumping, which is pretty good. Like I said, this dude's pretty solid. Nothing too crazy. Otherwise, he's got 73 zone, which is, better than 70. And, just comparing him to, like, McDonald, who has 56 zone, and Kruger Hill, who has 55. And keep in mind, these yellow zones don't play too much different based on your zone rating. So if you're going for that Paul with the 91 zone, he's okay, but he doesn't play too much differently than I would say anybody who has like an 80 zone or 70 or even some of these guys. I don't know about McDonald and Hill. I'm not vouching for their zones because they be out there looking lost sometimes. But anybody who has at least, I would say, 70 zone, they play those zones pretty much the same as a 90. in the linebacker positions. As you guys know, 91 at the secondary is a whole nother thing. But that is this team. That is this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I cut back from the 2 tight end sets just because I was using up a lot of cap there. And also I wasn't having success on the ground like I wanted running some of those formations that I was using. So I just went with a 3 wide receiver set. And yeah, that's my squad, man. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'm going to keep grinding here, try to get qualified for this Viking Club series. And I will catch up with you dudes later. Peace. Oh, yeah, make sure y'all subscribe if y'all new. Make sure y'all subscribe if y'all new, man. Hopefully this video helped. I'm going to have a lot of tips, videos like that, just trying to help you guys out get better, whether it's how to organize your team, how to qualify, the best times to play, etc., etc. I'm going to have a whole ton of stuff, blitzes, offensive strategies, etc. coming soon. So make sure y'all subscribe and also follow me on Twitter at Monster Chappie. Till the next time, guys, we gone!